Hello and welcome. I'm sure you're highly qualified professionals, and you're always thinking about what we can offer our students during a lesson and how students can benefit from the lesson. We are also keeping in mind the organization of the lesson so that a child could learn something, discover the world, mature, and what is more important, develop their thinking skills. Professor Pasov once said, knowledge could become stale, skills could be forgotten, but a person's thinking abilities will remain forever. One can hardly find a better way to develop our thinking abilities than by acquiring a foreign language, especially if it's not just foreign language learning, but foreign language education. Missing out on this is a grave mistake. So what should we do to promote the attainment of these opportunities? There are two major requirements. First, to define the objectives of the development, and second, to have adequate means of development, which can be a range of exercises and tasks. Today, we are going to get to know the tools used in the development of thinking, primarily for students at the primary education level. This will be accomplished by means of foreign language learning, and we'll discover what tasks can be used to facilitate the development of thinking. All of these will be done based on the examples from our course book titled Animals Are Our Friends.
In the book, Animals Are Our Friends, children will get to know Peter Brown. He's a zoologist traveling around the world and studying animals. Together with Peter Brown, children will have the chance to travel to the jungle, a safari park, a taiga, and will discover amazing facts about wild animals and pets.
When we are talking about thinking, we refer to the following types in particular: logical and creative thinking, intellectual skills and associative thinking, of course. The speed and accuracy of thought are crucial in all cases. What can be done to develop our thinking patterns and abilities? 1. Children should get into the habit of analyzing items, animals, and people. Observe processes that take place naturally in their natural environment or habitat. The primary task for the adults in this case is to tell the children about the world and its great diversity. 2. Children should perform experiments, assemble something out of parts to promote inductive thinking, disassemble something into its parts in order to perform deductive thinking. This is the stage when children go from visual thinking to imaginative. For this specific reason, adults and teachers shouldn't limit this task to pictures containing single items or a person, but should showcase pictures that portray habitats, environments, or biomes. A child or student who is exposed to complete and content-rich images will begin to develop a sense of systematic thinking that takes into consideration things in processes rather than in isolation. When we're talking about the development of the logical part of thinking, we're talking about the formulation of opinions, statements, assessments, and conclusions. To develop the logical part of thinking, 1. Teach a child to formulate opinions, express their assessment, and convey statements which encapsulate a child's attitude towards the ideas, and newly formed conclusions about these ideas. How can this be used in class? It's quite simple. Do not just ask what, but build in follow-up questions that promote further analysis: how, what kind, and why.
What do you know about the following insects? Read the questions and choose the right answers.
There's no need to stick to one topic. Let's say animals. How about talking about the physical appearance of animals? What do they look like? Why could animals be dangerous? How are wild animals and pets different? Any topic works well as long as the objective remains clear and focused on the development of the applicable type of thinking. 2. To teach children to express their opinions, especially to speak about facts. The applicable classroom activity could be true-false exercises or something along those lines. Children of this age can't make complicated implications, but simple inferences are possible. 3. Another important aspect of the methodology is the characterization and description of objects, animals, and people. For example, every animal can do something. Rabbits, wolves, and foxes can jump. but elephants can't.
Different animals have got different skills. What can these animals do? Read and cross out the wrong words in each line. Cheetahs can jump, swim, climb trees, cry like monkeys, and crawl.
Furthermore, a great way of promoting a mindset of exploration is to include additional parameters in the descriptions: the animal's life expectancy, color, abilities, etc. All these contribute to the ability of compiling and differentiating.
What can animals do? Write the correct animal on each line. What animal can run fast? What animal can jump? What animal can sleep in trees? What animal can roar? What animal can scream? What animal can swim?
Comparison is very useful for the development of thinking. An inseparable part of the successful completion of any task is verbal formulation, the statement. On one hand, formulation of a statement is verbal, but on the other, it's also cognitive. In a statement, in this context, also implies the activities a child should perform once the statement is heard. For example, compare these or find the differences. These are the activities which drive thinking, comparison, finding evidence, searching, and choosing. Abstraction, ranking, analysis, and synthesis, and specifying. For example, group animals into venomous and non-venomous animals and then compare your answer with the answer your peers have, in the form of asking and answering questions. We call these formulations verbal and cognitive tasks, and there are different tasks to offer students. Thinking is an inseparable part of the development of the formation of an educated guess, a very important component of determining why something is happening. Now, let's talk about the logical thinking of a child. How can development be measured? Based on what we hear, there should be a range of summarizing words and subordinate clauses. That's it. We should have our students formulate using just simple sentences for the purpose of naming or identifying something. But more complex statements can be developed by chaining or linking, with the help of linking words such as because and.
Mr. Brown has got a friend called Willie Stone. He wants to tell you about his favorite animals, and he wants to know whether you like them as well. Listen and read to what Willie is saying. What pets does he like and why?
Hi children, my name is Willie. I like animals very much. My favorite animals are cats and horses. I've got a cat. His name is Jumper. Jumper is a very kind cat.
A child shouldn't just list nouns. The person should use adjectives, adverbs, verbs, phrases, etc. The more complex the topic is, the more complicated the necessary language becomes.
This is Jumper, Mrs. Stone's favorite cat. Listen and read how Mrs. Stone describes his pet. Why does he consider it nice?
This is my cat, Jumper. Jumper is a lovely cat. He's kind and beautiful. His head is white and brown. His body is white. His fur is long and fluffy. Jumper has got big blue eyes. He has got big ears, but his nose is small. His tail is long and fluffy. His paws are strong. Jumper is very playful. He enjoys playing with soft toys, climbing trees, running and jumping. He also likes riding Annie, my horse. He doesn't like milk. He likes fish. I love my cat.
One more important activity is grouping. For example, to group animals into venomous and non-venomous. Classifying, grouping of something based on the common elements. Ranking is of a great help when children rank their own activities from boring to interesting. Other learning targets can be analysis synthesis, justifying, setting targets, and making assumptions. Activities that children perform are very important. Making something out of parts, puzzles, coloring according to the provided template, understanding opposites, big, small, hardworking, lazy, long, short, and so on. Also, a very productive task is finding the odd one out. Find the difference, or matching. We should keep in mind that comparing, let's say, a panda and a tiger is insufficient. This should be extended to comparing a tiger to a different-looking tiger, groups of similar-looking animals, and so on. Developing thinking abilities, enriching the active vocabulary with adjectives and adverbs.
Mr. Brown has a big collection of animal pictures. Find the differences between Mickey and Dickie.
Children learn to observe, differentiate, and compare even small details, and after all, enriching their vocabulary with adjectives and adverbs.
Look at the pictures and find 5 differences. Fill in the gaps with the differences you found.
Very good exercises for fulfilling this type of development are: could you please tell what an artist has forgotten to draw? Follow the pattern and decide what comes next. Also, choose words from the list and decide which of them can be used to characterize the illustrated animals. The learning process involves thinking development. Find motor skills, for example, trace the path with your finger and understand what animal this trail was made by.
Everybody in Mrs. Brown family has their own pet. Find out who each pet belongs to.
Writing, inserting the letters, or drawing a squirrel within the lines.
Can you draw a squirrel? Using a prompt, draw a squirrel and take part in the competition.
Observing. Use the map given of the London Zoo. Have the children find this animal or that animal.
The visitors can use the map of the zoo. It shows where you can find the animals in the zoo. Look at the map and find the animal your teacher is naming.
Classifying, specifying. Choose the odd one out, saying why you have chosen this particular object or thing. Thinking development is closely connected with the development of verbal mechanism. For example, imitation. A child imitates animal sounds and thinks about the animals which the person has already seen or likes.
Today, Peter Brown wants to show you the animals that people in different countries prefer to have as pets. Listen, follow the speaker, and tick those you like.
Word substitution. For example, when the following task is written, wolves can climb trees, and children replace the verb with no, wolves can't climb the trees, they can run fast. The following tasks contribute to thinking development. 1. Find 5 differences. 2. Define the object by touching it. 3. Making words out of letters, or syllables, or fragments. We use also the following types of exercises among many others. Determine, after reading an advertisement, how close to reality it is. Put a check next to activities you like. Prove that some ideas is true or false. Correct mistakes. Find the differences. What fact is the most interesting?
Read the riddles and look at the pictures. Find out what animal is being described in each riddle. Write the name of the animal in each line.
Make up your own riddle. Add interesting facts about animals. Cross out the odd word out. Expand the list. Make notes on the basis of what you have seen. Make up the short story. Dear viewers and listeners, our main objective is to help parents of young students as well as the children themselves realize that all the educational influence which is made on the children of this age has distant yet tangible outcomes in the field of thinking development and the culture of thought patterns. If we are aware of the method of applying this process, we will achieve development through more and more complicated verbal and cognitive tasks. And this is the topic for our next lesson.